Beyond Gaming play, both of these teams are actually the two longest game time averages in our league. So they tend to take the game late. But interestingly enough, for Beyond Gaming, they're first when it comes to first blood percentage, and also second in first tower percentage. So they are incredibly oppressive during the early game. But the issue is they just don't know what to do during the mid game sometimes, unless if they have overwhelming advantages. That's how these games end up getting stalled out a little bit, to the degree that they are one of the slower teams in our league.
Yeah, it is. It feels counterintuitive, but obviously you explain it like that, it makes perfect sense. The question now then becomes, do Impunity find a way to not necessarily stall them out, but to try and stop them from getting that early aggression and turning it into a big snowball? Because if Minji pops off, it's trouble. If Wako pops off, it's trouble. If Leon pops off, you can probably handle him, but still, like, it's gonna be trying to keep them at bay for a while and get to that point where you have the team fight in your favor. I really think this is going to be a lot on Taco in the early game. He's on his comfort pick. How well can he do to track this Rek'Sai and try to even the odds?
Tracking Rek'Sai will be name of the game, because Husha on this Rek'Sai has the ability to just hard snowball some of these lanes, especially that top side. If Jace gets ahead, yes, Tank Gragas can sort of mitigate it, but you do need a little bit of resources, get those items to really start hitting your stride. And it'll also be interesting to see if this will be Tank Gragas, because while Tank Gragas provides that extra front line, again, it is Tank Rise. So if you have too many tanks too many tanks in the kitchen, you can't fit all those tanks in the kitchen. They're too big.
Oh, your metaphors are flawless, my dude. I think it could be a bit of a mix-up. Who knows? I mean, we also saw Rise that wasn't fully tanky earlier today. Didn't work, but, you know, it's a possibility to do something a little bit different. I would like to see some AP come out of those two champions, possibly. You have a full AD comp apart from them. Yeah, you know, I'm just thinking it's going to be all about, like, hanging on in this early game, not letting Beyond Gaming get their favored snowball. And yeah, the Rek'Sai is obviously a very important thing to keep your eyes on. But we have seen Taco make magic before on Lee Sin, one of the stronger upstart players here, and I think a big part of why Impunity already have a better record than we saw them on in their last iteration in summer of 2021.
Yeah, showing a bit of a better look here is we are going to see some of these rune choices. I do like the Gathering Storm picked up, coming in from Beyond and Wako, saying, hey, we know we're one of the longer scaling teams. Let's take full advantage of that. So we're just going to get the extra scaling runes, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, on the flip side, Impunity, I believe Blaze had the scaling as well, but Quiet going for the Scorch, trying to have a little bit extra lane presence here. Of course, can do that now that he also is running the Comet, so a lot of poke damage here.
Yeah, you can see, ooh, look at that damage he was dishing out. Now Liang could chase him down for a little bit, but
looking for the Q.
Too much of a start. Now down bot, we had the makings of a bit of a contest here as Kino, waiting and baiting, gets that headbutt out onto Faith. As the red buff has started. That's, yeah, Alistar not exactly a kill threat early.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen because Faith also doesn't have any real lockdown at level 1, of course.
He's just a babby Rise.
But level 1 up top lane is really spicy because you have that ward. That Quiet will get spotted out. This is incredibly punishing. This is why the ward in that top lane is actually really, really important. But if you use your top lane ward for that, then you don't have a ward for the jungle, which is why we see very often you'll have the your jungler or your support walk all the way up there and throw down their ward for you.
Yeah, and Husha, of course, can get all over the map a little bit faster on this Rek'Sai, and we'll see where he does make his first move. Remember the last time he played it against CFO, it was all about that mid lane. Level 1 was a little less flashy this time around, so probably a little bit more of a standard start.
UIG on all their comfort champions, but for the most part, like when you look at this Impunity draft, it feels like a pretty stock standard. And I mean, one of the things from Impunity is, yes, they've been at deficits pretty often. Okay, Faith.
Yeah,
Not
just
gonna get flashed upon.
just the Burrow Prey Seeker. Faith is able to hold on to it.
Yeah, creates enough distance from his lane positioning that even if Wuxiao does come over the wall, he has enough time to walk close enough to his tower. Even if the flash on Burrow comes through, he'll be close enough to the tower. That shouldn't be an issue.
Good headbutt pull. That is going to be a lot of damage onto Kino, but critically, Wako can still return fire. Really great rocket poke on this 2v2. Here comes Taco.
Taco.
Oh, and Faith. I think
Taco
okay.
Faith making his
It
way
pinged me
over.
This could be a really good dive if they set it up right.
It is into an Alistar though.
That's tough. Wako steps up. Oh, Sonic Wave connects. Realizes
You
he
know,
can't take it. You don't
yeah.
want to feed double buffs, and yeah, the big cow says no.
Yeah, the big thing is like the position of Kino right there means that if he takes his Q, this is why Alistar can be good into Lee Sin in particular, you just instantly headbutt him out as he's traveling in. So that is one of the interactions. Of course, you can also just get pulverized, figuratively and in game, by the Alistar. So yeah, it does make Lee Sin very difficult to play into this composition.
Ooh, Taco should be able to sniff out the Rek'Sai pretty soon if he spots the taking Krugs. Oh no! He's been had, but Gragas has already backed away, so there's nothing for Husha to grab here. Instead, he just tunnels his way to safety.
Already, we can see that up in the top side, like Liang, with that extra ward pressure, has been able to generate 12 CS lead up top lane.
Yeah, that's
and
huge.
Also burning the early teleport coming in from Quiet. Yes, he's most likely going to... actually, he doesn't even need to burn his own because of how large that wave is going towards Quiet, and it will slowly push back towards him. So he can just kind of walk his way back, save his own teleport, which is going to be key because if you do ever get ganked, teleport is a great tool to bail yourself out of bad lane positions after a gank.
Yeah, no, that's really a great start at the moment, and having the teleport advantage, and obviously with the changes in the season, there's limited things you can do with that, but most likely not going to have a Jace wanting to get down, teleport to the bot lane anyways, to try and make a play, but he has that kind of banked up now that he can use for a little bit later while the timing is still in his favor. Husha Kino pushing deep into Impunity jungle, and oh, Taco, he's going to go on the Gromp. I think they see this one. Perfect timing. And it's all about the counter jungle. We talked about Taco tracking Husha, but unfortunately, the shoe was on the other foot.
Yeah, and I mean, Minji hits level 6, so his ability to roam and make plays, not only because of the fact that he had wave priority in that mid lane, but just the ability to catch out Faith if he tries to match that roam timing is just going to be really hampered. So Taco still level 4. That is pretty impactful in that regard because at level 6, of course, that's where your big playmaking potential arises as Lee Sin. And the longer you delay that, the better it is for Beyond Gaming because, again, this is a squad that's very much lane focused. So the longer you can keep this lane phase is going to look better for you. But at the same time, Impunity, this is a squad that, while they face lane deficits, have found very good play making as a team to mitigate some of those lane deficits.
Yeah, they find creative ways to do it. I think that is something we have to give credit to this squad. They've had solid team play. The issue has always come down to like some of the individual execution, it seems, and that's where the worry is, right? Because Beyond Gaming, they've kind of got the individual execution in spades, and the opposite problem where sometimes their teamwork is a little bit scuffed. Interesting kind of clash there of the two teams' strengths and weaknesses. But right now, I mean, you're 7.5 minutes in. You haven't given first blood against a team that is incredibly bloodthirsty. That's a win in and of itself. Sure, you're losing a few lanes, but, like, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Name of the game for Impunity is to lose somewhat gracefully. And
oh, here's Taco. Spotted.
Taco will be spotted out. But we now get a little bit of clarity on what kind of build Quiet is going for. It is the Everfrost build, and now Taco going to get cut off.
Loose smited down.
Gonna be
Should be able to
flash.
ward hop this. Oh no, yeah, the flash unburrow, and Minji tried to pick that one up, but killed secured by Husha. Quiet knocked, bopped, pinball. That's going to be the big barrel as he flashes the wall. But Minji, he wants the kill, doesn't get the charm, but he does manage to find a deceptive orb. And that's going to be 2 quick picks from Beyond Gaming, turning into a Rift Herald.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Beyond like to do, right? It's get first blood and then turn for Rift Herald, where now you have the ability to just hard snowball a particular lane. I wouldn't even be surprised if they decide to just force the play right away, but given how low Husha is, they'll probably just have him use the empowered recall, get that recall off, and immediately look to throw it down into one of these solo lanes where they can heavily accelerate the game through those.
Husha's actually taking his time about it. He already had dinner, but he wants some Gromp for dessert. But now he'll go ahead and get that empowered recall off. Game resets for just a little bit here, but it is a pretty decent Beyond Gaming lead of about 1,000 and change. Taco does find scuttle control down bottom, but I mean, that is quite the small consolation prize. And it seems like Husha's making a beeline for bot lane. Now shifting his attention up through the jungle. I think they want to try and Drake fight.
Looks like they are considering that play. And given the gold lead on some of their members, it could make sense, but remember, this is the better team fight setup team for Impunity.
Okay, they lose the dragon. Immediately get the pick onto Taco, however. So, everybody else from Impunity do back away, but this does open up the opportunity to drop that Herald. Meanwhile, Leong has free plate damage, and he's going to start to snowball his gold lead. This is happening on 2 fronts. Well worth the dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a better team fight when they have all their pieces. That's the key thing. When you get Quiet there, yes, it changes just a little bit given the fact that he's not full tank Gragas, and instead is going for the more upfront, hey, let's try and skill check you. Build with the Everfrost. Of course, it has a lot of lockdown in combination with the Leona and the Rise, but at a certain point, it feels like you have already more than enough lockdown. So just get tanky, be a front line. But I suppose we have full tank Rise. I think, yeah. But it's hard to tell because he's prioritized getting that lucidity boots.
I mean, look, sometimes you have to buy what you get on the backs that you have, and sometimes all you can afford is a bit of a bargain bin, some garage sale items.
There's no minions, guys. You can't dive.
Yeah. That was unfortunate. A little bit of an extended vacation from mid lane there. It doesn't result in anything for Impunity. And can't even try and take out a blue buff. Hex Flash for Kino. He wants to find Faith. There's the knockup following through. Good pinball. And the Leona ultimate into the Xenoblade doesn't really do anything as Faith gets dropped. Kino, in his own ultimate, is going to be able to hold on for a little while. And Pinway forced to burn his flash just to get away. So is Taco.
Nice attempt to kind of read the situation coming in from the side of Impunity. They bring Pinway, they bring Taco over, they know that a gank is most likely going to happen, but Faith ends up getting caught out. I mean, it was a really nice play coming in from Kino to get the catch, right? You don't really find any issues with that pathing. You just don't expect that Alistar to just pop over the wall like that. And he gets heavily punished, and now I guess they don't get punished that hard because... I
think that Rift was going to drop in a second. He took a little while to use it, but that was a bit unlucky, as you might say.
Yeah, that was going to be first brick, but Impunity... well, I don't know if it's Impunity that stopped the charge, but Shelly just didn't want to headbutt.
look, you know, Shelly's had a long day. It's been rough, you know.
Maybe her head
hard
hurts.
out there.
I
Yeah,
think
sometimes you just need like an ibuprofen, and you just need to like
Exactly.
relax, okay? That's yeah.
Faith is dead again.
You can't be on 100% of the time. Okay, yeah. Whoa. Faith not found. Also, I want to point out 4 kills for Husha in this game. Snowballing ahead on some damage on some brawlers. Yeah, Liang is going to get 1v2'd, but he's 1v2ing pretty decently actually with the level advantage on both Quiet and Taco. Oh. And back to the safety of the tower. Oh boy.
Oh, that was with a Grog Assault available, so they actually don't pull the trigger, knowing that Liang still has Flash available to him. Now, this is a very low tower, so that's why you see BYG, they don't really care that there aren't going to be minions.
Yeah, and into the Jinx rocket. Wako going to be able to secure that kill.
Okay,
However,
that's a big shutdown.
Husha does get punished pretty heavily as Ninji has arrived to try and clean things up. Faith gets a lot of objective gold, but they will pay dearly for it. Clean up and the tower. Wako gets excited. Not much else to take on the map at the moment, but a big swing still in favor of Beyond Gaming. 5,500 gold lead.
This is an explosion of gold going into the hands of Beyond Gaming lately. Yes, you get a nice burst of gold into the hands of one of your, I guess, carries, but unfortunately it doesn't get into the hands of Blaze, which is the real problem, right? Because tank rise.
Yeah.
There's only so much snowballing you can do on that champion.
He does show up and basically get like a Q auto, and that takes the kill away. I feel like if I was Blaze, I'd be just a little bit salty about that.
I would be a lot of salty, but that's me personally. And for Impunity, at the least, you get a kill back. But all in all, Faith, that is his one bright moment in this game so far. It's been a lot of not so great moments leading up to that.
Yeah, there. Impunity try to contest on the dragon again. Husha just gets booted through his own tunnel, or rather, boots himself through his own tunnel. But again, this Jace starting to push pretty heavily. I don't think Quiet's really been able to find the answer against him as he goes to the skies again. Still the level advantage.
This is a good
Does
opportunity.
Get pinballed. That was really good there.
Yes.
But Quiet is going to get knocked away. Oh, into the flash dash, and oh, what an outplay. That was sweet.
Spam the emotes, brother. That was a really, really nice pick off. Really punishing the hubris coming in from Liang in that moment, because he does overextend and go for a very bold trade when Gragas is by his tower. Anytime a Gragas is by his tower, he can instantly turn the tables on you. Like, even tank Gragas will just own you in that moment. But that's also the other thing. Tank Gragas probably still gets that kill. So
yeah. Could have been
tank Gragas.
Yeah. I can't believe it's not tank Gragas. But after that play, a really good outplay on the top side does spend Liang's teleport to get back into this one. Beyond do still get an edge out of it because they grab a Mountain Dragon. We will have an Inferno Rift this game and another Rift Herald. I would like to see this Rift Herald used a little more effectively. It does seem like the coordination in how to make the objective plays, that's where we're seeing some of these weaknesses from Beyond Gaming shine through.
Yeah. At the very least, though, I don't think that last play was really their fault. It was just Shelly just didn't want to.
It's a bit unlucky. Yeah,
that was very unlucky.
Sometimes Shelly doesn't want to play. I mean,
she's a little bit moody.
If your job is to hit big stone structures all day, which does do damage to you, it is a brutal job. You're gonna have a hard time. Exactly. I think she deserves a break. I think she should get at least a couple of days off a year. You know, it's not too much to ask.
Deserves a break? You mean Kit Kat?
Yeah, well, I mean, sure, I'm sure she'd love a Kit Kat. Who doesn't love a Kit Kat?
That is true.
How many flavors have you had of them, by the way? Because they, especially in Japan, they make so many ridiculous flavors of Kit Kat. It's incredible.
I
had
love
a
the
matcha one. Yeah.
I
matcha
love
so good.
the matcha one. But you know what? Impunity don't love shock blast to the face.
No, they don't. That's why Quiet spent everything to get that kill. That was awesome, by the way. His flash dash was that was perfectly timed. You can't see the windup.
Yep. Really good mechanics there.
Okay, and there's a shock blast to the face. Okay, Shelly, you're on for round 2. You had a little bit of a break, but this time charging forward. And they should be able to clean tower off this one. And in goes Tito! What a beautiful engage on the Alistar. Do they have the damage? A great Featherstorm Blade Caller coming out of Blaze. Maybe they can. Husha's already down. There goes Kino. Look at Taco around the side of the fight. Out. On the Realm Warp, he goes in. Faith finds one. And into stasis he goes. Is this going to be the cleanup? Oh my goodness! They get the ace!
Impunity! Ooh! A little spicy there.
Okay, and the only downside is there's no Baron to take, but wowzers, that was not what I was expecting. And Impunity will earn some objectives. This buys them some breathing space. And you talked about the team fight, Nightstar. You talked about when they're all there. Well, how about them apples?
Yeah, we have to see what happens to Husha here, because Taco just blasts Husha. The fight starts out, and we see Taco to say, hey, let me 1v1 you, brother. And he just gives him a kick to the face, kills him before the ult comes through. And on the flip side, like, this is a pretty tanky team. And remember, the side of Beyond Gaming, because you have a Jace, you're very much oriented about setting up the fight rather than instantly going for the fight. You hit a couple shock blasts, soften up those targets, get them in range for that juicy reset coming in from both the Ahri and the Jinx, and then you go. But they kind of softened up just a little bit, but the all-in seemed a little bit too eager coming in from Kino.
I think so, and this is where we've seen a few issues. I mean, Kino does like to go for the big engage, but his team didn't really have all the sync to make it work. Husha gets taken out unexpectedly early on, and that was what it was. I like how Faith just goes right in, knowing full well he's going to step on a chomper, and that's perfectly fine. He can still just overload his spells when he's rooted. That's okay. And we are going to see it again.
And this is why in the mid-game, Tank Rise feels so oppressive, right? Because on just those 2 items, he feels really annoying to deal with because there's just such a large health pool. But it's really, at 3 items, he is still pretty strong because you get the Frozen Heart, and if he gets onto you, you really don't have a whole lot of recourse. But at 4 and 5, that's where things feel like it turns. So when you need to keep track of that in this game, Quiet will be able to help out in some of that magic damage burden. At the very least, he himself has Azania's Hourglass, so he's in perfect prime position to team fight, able to engage really aggressively and still stall things out by using that Hourglass to buy time.
Yeah, it's starting to be a pretty decent spike. Obviously, this Dragon, you'd like to take this if you are Impunity, but I don't think they feel like they want to get into another 5v5 just yet. Waiting on the Fimbulwinter to complete as well. They do have inside track on mid for a little extra gold game. Zoning them off. Really nicely played, but they're not going to finish the job just yet. Okay.
They're stuck in a choke.
Minji. They do have the 1 root, and Featherstorm's going to come out a little early. Oh, no! The Blaststone betrayal! What was that? Oh, dear. And he fails the flash, too. And Blaze is left for dead. What a betrayal.
I don't know what to say.
You know, sometimes you see brilliant moves, and sometimes you see that. That's going to be a Baron trade now for this inner tower being finished. I feel like we'll get a replay, but I really wish we could just run some yakety sacks over it.
Can we censor the blast cone?
How? You see everyone go in different directions. Everyone knows what happened, Nightstar. No one's happy about it, but still.
They all walked in different directions. They decided on their own, Pyra. There was no blast cone.
Okay, let's
weird
watch this
yakety
again.
sacks. I bet Taco did.
Nope. It was quiet. A betrayer.
And then Blaze, he
flashes.
flashes into wall. But then, if he didn't stop walking, he could have also made it to that portal, I think. It would have been very tight.
Oh. Okay. Taco almost gets caught. No, he does get caught. Never mind. Charmed by the Ahri. Minji is going to claim another kill, and Beyond right back on the board here with the 5,000 gold advantage. And oh boy, the Impunity, kind of their own worst enemies in the last couple of minutes, and this
that was a case of the
playoffs.
turntables.
Yeah, well, yeah, more of a record scratch moment, but anyway, caught under the Jinx, snap traps, and into the perfect timing on the rocket. Beautiful play there from Wako. He's even taken almost down to 0. The flash, the rock. Oh, forced out the Feather Storm. It's going to be enough. Husha can just jump on his face. I think this might be.
I think this game.
They're timing it. This could be game. Yeah. Yeah. We're going home soon. All right. Quiet throws out the party barrel.
All right. Finds one. Maybe they don't just end off of it because Kino also doesn't have his ultimate, so they can't dive towers.
No, but they can get 2 hits, so that's still pretty good.
They essentially burn down the entire base. So for Impunity, they have their moments of brilliance when it comes to some macro decision making, but when you have 2 waves of supers coming in, it means that you're stuck in base, so you don't get to play macro anymore.
Yeah, I think for Impunity, it is definitely time to turtle a little bit. Time to reflect on a couple of mistakes that cost.
They've been put in essentially in the timeout corner, Pyra.
Yes, but once those inhibitors are back up, you better watch. I think this team has shown some brilliance.
They're allowed to.
Not in those moments, unfortunately. That was, God. You know how we get like a top 5 plays of the week? That is a top 5 derps of the week.
Yeah,
you can't do that. Oh, Minji. Okay.
Interesting pathing.
Yeah.
Taco, that pathing is a bit inexcusable. Ari also has priority over all dashes in the game, unless if you're unstoppable during your dash. So you will get interrupted. They changed that because it didn't used to do that, and enough people complained about it. So now it just
oh no!
Betrayal! Is this betrayal?
What is the blast code in this game? That is going to be still enough for them to clean up 1-for-1.
Just too far
Maybe
ahead?
they just wanted to make it spicy here, Nightstar. The counter engaged Impunity. No, they gotta go. Or they're gonna go. Husha gets the kill out on the face, but this is still a 3v2 right now. But critically, Wako is the one up there. Quiet has to run out of his own base. Pinway and Blaze taken down to almost nothing. And if they can just end off this one, it would be some Wako 2-stepping, but they're not going to do it. Settling for just the Nexus turret. Oh, what a unnecessarily close fight.
Oh man, I think for playoffs, Beyond Gaming just have to go ahead and ban Inferno Rift.
But, yeah, what is this? What is this happen?
Husha! Husha!
Husha?
Husha!
Oh, no! Yeah, what? He's trolling. He's got to be trolling. You know, I think he saw what Quiet did and was like, you know what? I'm going to make you feel a little better. We both get one. And they still, like, get a Nexus turret out of this, but...
I mean, it stalls the game out.
Yeah, they're doing it to themselves now, Beyond Gaming. They want to keep their game time high. They want to get.
This time, it's a correctly used blast cone.
Yeah, there you go.
But there's
Quiet. Oh no. Yeah, he's caught between everybody. He does have a big barrel, but he's got involved. No point in even using the ultimate. Didn't have flash. Ouch.
Yeah. Well, now Beyond Gaming have an opportunity to try and end the game because Impunity. The catch potential is a lot harder unless Taco finds some sort of deep flank, but at the very least, Kino's running relatively good interference, and now they have vision of where Taco is, so it's very hard now to get a pick onto Wako, especially when they have so many tools to stop the Lee Sin, right? Again, we mentioned Alistar, but also the Unburrow coming in from Husha and the Charm interrupt from Minji, so this is very difficult for them to play.
Yeah. Last inhibitor going to be taken down. They used Jinx ultimate just to zone plays away. One Nexus turret is all that remains. Impunity. They needed to lock this game up to lock a playoff spot. They still, of course, seem like a likely in, but it's going to be up in the air for a little while here. And Beyond Gaming, huge for them to get the W because it helps them to secure their playoff position. You want to try and earn that 3rd seed so you don't have to face off against one of the stronger teams. Goodbye, Binway! Waco's going to come up with the kill credit for it. Taco may be locking up Husha, but unfortunately, his team is getting locked up and taken down to 0. The kill onto Husha comes through. Waco taken low. It's not over yet here, Nightstar. They're still fighting, and Taco sustaining finally goes down.
Can they just kill Waco?
Beyond are done playing.
I don't think they
Hi, Blaze. All right, that's GG. 28 minutes on the clock. Beyond Gaming will get themselves another W. Having a little bit of fun with their food here, but that is going to be GG.
All right. We had